The cost of living, or the rate of inflation at the end of September 2021, stood at 5.2% over the same period last year. This was the highest increase on record since August of 2008. Statistician with the Statistical Institute of Belize, Melvin Perez, explained to the media today what were those determining factors that played a part in the jump in prices across the board.
Now, looking at what contributed to this increase was first the transport category, which had a notable increase of 16.2%, as higher prices for motor vehicle fuels was recorded. It was followed by the food and non-alcoholic beverages category, which went up by 5.8%, as higher prices for meats, vegetables, and fruits was recorded for the period. Prices in the housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuel went up by 3.5%.
The gross domestic product, or GDP for short, also grew by 15.2% over 2020, but it remains lower than the pre-pandemic period. External trade, which includes imports and exports, also rose by significant margins, going by SIB's data.
For the period January to October of 2021, Belize's imports stood at $1.7 billion. This was a significant growth of almost 30%, or $386.5 million, as imports increased across all commodity categories when compared to that same period last year. Such a wide sweep in increased imports is reflective of not only a comparison made to the severely reduced imports of 2020, which were notably impacted by the challenges of the pandemic, but higher world market prices for various commodities and greater shipping costs were largely responsible for this increase. For the period January to October of 2021, Belize's domestic exports totaled $367.4 million. This was a respectable 13.2% increase, or a growth of $42.8 million over exports for that same period last year.
The unemployment rate fell, according to the SIB, from 13.7% to single digits, 9.2% over the same comparable period. According to the statistics, the labor force in September comprised around 191,808 persons, and around 90% of that amount was employed in some form. Statistician Wendy Benavides broke down the figures.
The decline in the level of unemployment was largely due to persons rejoining the labor force and finding jobs. Across the districts, Toledo registered the highest unemployment levels at 14.6%, followed by Cayo at 11.4%. Unemployment figures decreased in all districts except for Toledo, where a notable increase was observed among young females ages 14 to 24 years.
Orange Walk, according to the figures, recorded the lowest unemployment rate at 6.4%. And while the statistics shows that the Belize district registered the highest unemployment rate at 15.1% in 2020, by September of this year, those figures dropped to 6.5%, mostly due to gains made in the tourism, real estate, trade, and the services sector. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.